Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze, Breezeway Productions' The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news, and we continue our coverage of this year's 2025 Tribeca Film Festival. And we have the documentary today, Matter of Time, and we're going to talk a little bit with Michael Hunt and Dr. Jean Tang, as well as Kate and Rowan Holler. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing pretty great, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining today to talk. So, my first question is tell me a little bit about Matter of Time.
Well, Matter of Time is basically it's kind of like educational about EB research partnerships. It goes into the lives of the kids with EB and also a little bit of Eddie's concert.
Yeah,
It was the trailer I saw was very emotional.
yeah. The film definitely was emotional. I wasn't aware of EB before watching the film, so I'll ask you, Dr. Jean Tang, if you can describe EB to viewers that may not be familiar with what it is.
EB stands for Epidermolysis Bullosa. That's a long word, but what it means is skin blistering. And so individuals with EB are born with a DNA mutation in a gene called collagen 7. Collagen 7 acts like a staple that staples your upper layers of your skin to the lower layers. And so, unfortunately, many of our EB individuals have very delicate, fragile skin, like the wings of a butterfly. And because of this really delicate, paper thin skin, any scratch, any fall can lead to wounds. And over time, the wounds can get bigger and bigger. And many of our patients are wrapped in bandages almost, all the way the neck down. Um, there are also blisters and wounds inside the mouth, the throat, on the skin on the inside as well. It's a rare disease. It maybe affects 1 in 500,000.
Thank you, doctor. That's very thorough for the description of it. And meeting these families including yourself, Kate and Rowan, were very interesting to see of your daily lives. So Kate, why don't you walk me through like what's a day in your life, as you go about doing what you do.
Yeah, I mean, every day is different, and that's kind of how it feels like for us. We have better days and worse days. And I'd say for a lot of families with kids with more severe EB, it starts with getting up in the middle of the night a lot, to help our kids with whatever you need help with in the middle of the night. Maybe it's going to the bathroom. Um, getting back into bed, bandaging areas that maybe she scratched and she has a new wound overnight. Giving a lot of variety of medications in the morning geared towards helping with these symptoms that she experiences with EB. Um, you know, and then assisting her with, doing things just as simple as brushing her teeth.
Yeah.
Um, just because just the act of brushing teeth with a toothbrush can cause the skin to shear away inside of the mouth. So it's all these things that, you really take for granted. How you interact with everything in your environment really impacts your skin. And so, just starting off the day, even brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, Rowan has a feeding tube and she gets supplemental food through there because eating enough food through her, by mouth is really difficult. And then, going throughout the day, later in the day, doing a bandage change, or waking up in the morning, just having those bandages that may be saturated with blood from overnight that need to be changed so that she can go to school and, not have blood soaked bandages, be really visible or, blood on her clothes. I mean, that's like the reality of what you wake up with EB and what we're dealing with, painful bandage changes that we can't avoid. That's every day. So
Yeah.
it's the mental toughness that you need to have, which, sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's harder, right, Ro? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, bandage chains can take up to like 3 to 4 hours,
Mhm.
and they're just really, and also they're really painful. So it's like like being like breaking your leg for like 4 or 3 hours, basically. That's
But
like,
doing it every day.
yes, doing it every day.
Rowan, you're one of the strongest people I've ever met. To go through that. What do you do for fun? What are what are things you enjoy?
Well, I like boba, sushi,
Me too.
mochi. I also like cats and playing Roblox.
Those are all wonderful things that we share. I love boba and sushi too. Hope to actually have some sushi later today, now that you've got me in the mood for it.
While
Wonderful.
playing Roblox, that's heaven.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, it's my favorite game right now. Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. Okay, so next question is for Michael. So you're the CEO of EB Research, and that you were an EP on this film. Can you tell me a little bit about how research is going for EB?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you hear Rowan and you hear Kate talk about mental toughness and her whole family, Kate and Rowan and Jason and Celine and Fox. If you want to learn what true courage is, if you need a booster shot of bravery, what Rowan does on a single day is climbing a mountain that most people will never climb in their entire life.
Yeah.
So her courage, her bravery, her resiliency, and the way in which Rowan fights and battles and does it with a smile and gives us all life and inspiration and hope, that motivates us to wake up every day. And if we could have a fraction of the fight that Rowan brings every single day, it motivates us to drive progress. And in this community, when this organization was started a little more than a decade ago, there wasn't a lot of hope. There wasn't a lot of progress. There wasn't a lot of Dr. Jean Tangs in the world working on this cause. In a short time, we've raised $75 million. We've funded 120 projects across the world in 20 different countries. We've seen clinical trials go from 2 to now more than 50, a 25x growth in clinical trials. And for the first time, we have 3 FDA approved treatments. And the most recent, which was just last month, was the great, amazing, heroic Dr. Jean Tang. This was her clinical trial. So when we talk about an inflection point, when we talk about momentum, because of every Holler family in the world, because of every Dr. Jean Tang in the world, because of Jill and Eddie, because of this community, we formed a team of people that come from different backgrounds and different angles, but share the same mission and purpose, which is we want a cure for EB and we want to accelerate it as quickly as possible. This momentum certainly gives us hope to have 3 approved treatments, but it's not the end game. So the progress is exciting. It makes us optimistic. It makes us hopeful, but we will not stop until we have a cure. We feel we're in a better position than ever before. Every day you see more scientific and medical progress, but the ultimate goal is to take this moment and this film as a new chapter and momentum to finish the job and ultimately find a cure.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that, because a follow-up question that I had regarding that was if you were affected with the cuts that were happening to medical clinical trials from the government deciding to do what they decided to do. Is there people that can go and support, or is it government funded, or both? How does the organization work?
So I can speak on behalf of scientists.
Yeah.
Michael and the foundation and the families have backed us for years, and it's incredible to have 3 FDA approved treatments. I will tell you right now that if the scientists didn't have federal backing, none of this would be possible. I was a scientist because of federal investment into research and training scientists like me. The fact that there are FDA approved drugs in this short timeline is all because of the money raised by the foundation. There is no single rare disease that has achieved as much as EB has. And what we're hoping to do is to really give hope in such a hard disease, to say that the impossible seems impossible until you do it.
Yeah.
We have good treatments, we think, for the skin. But as Rowan alluded to, there's inside blisters, inside wounds. We don't have treatments for that. And our goal is really to find a cure to correct all of the cells of the patient.
Well, it's good to see that there is some good news and things are looking up. And as you go through Matter of Time and the documentary, it showcases that there was gatherings. People are starting to talk to each other. Treatments are starting to be developed. People are helping this cause so that people can live better lives. So I really like that with Matter of Time. Also, you have some concert stuff going on with Jill and Eddie Vedder, so you're able to see him perform in Seattle. So, Rowan, did you enjoy listening to Eddie play his music?
Yes, I think it was great. When I was there, he signed a ukulele for me and gave
Oh,
me
fun.
a ukulele, and I was very thankful for that. And his music is very good, and I think he should keep on going.
Nice. Me too. Me too. Especially when you listen to some Pearl Jam and you really get into Eddie's, music library. He's a phenomenal musician with a very, very big heart, as you see in the documentary. So, in closing, what would you like to say to Tribeca for the acceptance of this film into the festival?
I gotta say thank you so much, Tribeca. I know there's a lot of families with me, but right, what I'm gonna say, but I think that this is gonna really spread more awareness of it. And like you said in the beginning, there's probably gonna be some viewers that don't even know what EB is. So when they watch the film, they're gonna learn a little bit more about EB and how they can help.
Yeah, yeah. I was one of those people and I was illuminated by it. Very well said, Rowan. And I want to thank you all for taking the time with me to talk about Matter of Time. And I wish you all blessings and good health in the future. So
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.